Hi Virgo, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel, and also happy early birthday to those of you who celebrate in August. This is your August 2022 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's a Celtic cross spread as always, and I also pulled the 4 agreements, Wisdom of the Oracle, and Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling those astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus should be as far as that goes. Alright, so we have 2. So second house energy for you guys is Libra, and second house typically represents possession, self-worth, finances, and I do see some Libra cards in your spread. We have Pisces, and for you guys, Pisces is your opposite sign of partnerships, contracts, relationships. And we have Neptune there, retrograde. Trying to think. I think that's about it right now. Jupiter eventually end up back there, but it's not going to be in August. And we have Uranus. So Uranus is actually in Taurus, which is your 9th house of philosophy, higher learning, foreign affairs. And I will say, as far as Uranus, when there's going to be that full moon in Aquarius, we're going to have the North Node conjunct Uranus, and then the full moon's going to be making a square aspect with that. So definitely some intensity around Uranus energy for sure in August. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started with the main spread. In the main situation position, we have Temperance, which is Sagittarius energy, and challenging that, we have the Ace of Cups. So seeing these 2 cards together could just be saying that you guys might have gotten some kind of an offer, or at least an idea around something. Now, it could be emotional in nature, as far as, yes, we tend to think of love with Ace of Cups energy, but it could just be a creative idea as well. And I feel like it's saying that the challenge for you is trying to integrate that, right? Because if we even look at the artwork here, we see, well, once focused, there we go. We see 1 foot on the earth and 1 foot in the water, right? So you guys as an earth sign, that could be more of your realm, right? Like, okay, you're comfortable with the earthly energy, but dipping your toe into the water, right? So it could just be one of those things where you're like, okay, I have this idea, or I got this offer, now what do I do with it, right? So I feel like this is you guys trying to figure out how to integrate it into your lives in the best way possible. Could just be, trying to do something that speaks to you on a more emotional level, but also trying to keep it on the practical and grounded side as well, wherever I should say. So I feel like you guys could be trying to balance that out right now. And for you guys, Sagittarius energy is 4th house, so this could be around your home or your family in some way too. Alright, in the foundation position, we have the 8 of Wands. So this looks like there could have been a lot of communication going around lately. And usually when I see this card in particular too, it doesn't represent just a lot of communication and a lot of movement, but movement in the same direction too. So I feel like this is saying that it was focused movement. So maybe this is communicating with people around common goals, right? Something along those lines. Or at least just putting a lot of things in place for yourselves to move you in the same direction. And again, like I said, given that that's Sagittarius energy too, could be around your home lives in some way. Alright, past position, we have the Lovers. So this is the major arcana card for Gemini. So for some of you, this could just be saying that the wheels might have gotten in motion back during Gemini season, maybe even during the time of the Sagittarius full moon more specifically. But yeah, so because he's saying that this is something that you've been going through the motions, trying to figure out how to make it work for the past few months. And that makes sense. That was the last time we were in mutable energy. And then when we get toward the end of August, we'll be in Virgo season. And then that's more mutable energy. So you could just be seeing things from a different perspective. But yeah, for some of you, this could be a connection that might have been brought into your lives in some way, but maybe you didn't necessarily see the importance of it at the time. And maybe you're still trying to figure that out now, right? But yeah, could have just been a conversation, maybe some kinds of signs and synchronicities you guys were getting, because if we look at the artwork there, we see the angel type figure in the background, right? And to me, that makes me think of things being worked out behind the scenes sometimes. All right, in the present position, we have the 7 of Pentacles. So this is Taurus energy here, and we did see Uranus come up in your dice as well. So yeah, it could just be one of those things where maybe you're something that might have brought you fulfillment and success. Maybe you feel like it's not giving those same results now. So you could just be reevaluating, like, okay, do I want to continue down this path, right? Or maybe even if it is continuing to give the same results, maybe what those results, their value isn't the same. So just a super generic example. Let's say you're making $50,000 a year, right? And maybe that had you at a certain comfort level before, but now when everything around the world is getting more and more expensive, what was $50,000 then doesn't have necessarily the same value now, right? So you could be really evaluating, like, okay, do I want to continue down this path, right? Does it get me to the same place that it was in the past? So it could just be one of those things. Um, Whatever this is, I feel like this is something that you've put a lot of work into, though, to this point, and it could just be kind of reevaluating, like, okay, does this speak to me the same way it did before? All right. In the near future position, we have the Two of Cups. So this is Cancer energy here. So this could even just be saying maybe even a friendship where you just have a meeting of the minds with someone, right? Maybe again, it could just be, given that we see the wings there and also that lion head. So this could just be saying a conversation you might have during Leo season. But it might even be that same exact theme from the past, given that we see the lovers there. We also see the wings with temperance, right? So this could just be one of those conversations where you have a meeting of the minds. Maybe it was kind of divinely directed in some way to get a message across to you, right? That could get you on the right path. But yeah, this could be a collaboration of some kind of a partnership. Doesn't necessarily have to be romantic. Could also be business, you know. But this looks like there's some kind of connection where you're going through the motions, talking with someone, and you feel like you really connect with them, and that might actually light a fire under you as far as making you feel like, okay, yeah, actually, what I'm working on is worth something, right? All right, and in the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Queen of Swords. So Libra energy, second house energy for you guys. And again, we saw that come up in the dice too. So this could just be saying, on the one hand, you could be looking for a win-win scenario, right? Where you're like, okay, I want to do something that's going to benefit all parties involved. So with that temperance energy, that could be what that was representing as well, right? Where you're like, okay, how can I do something that's going to benefit myself and others who are involved in the situation? Um, Now, you could just be trying to look at it from a very intellectual point of view, too, right? Whereas with the temperance, we see a little bit more emotion involved and trying to keep things grounded. But yeah, um, that's what I'm seeing there. It could just be saying that that's your primary focus to try to figure out what's a win win situation for all parties involved. So it could even just be like something that you're offering to the world, right? Where, like, okay, could I do something that I enjoy doing, right? With the emotions there, but it also is practical as far as it could give me a means of survival. So it could just be something like that too. For some of you, this can be wanting to balance a relationship as well. I'm not getting that as heavily in this situation. All right. In the environment position, we have the Three of Swords. So this is more Libra energy here too. And it could just be saying that there could be some disappointment there, maybe from taking on too many different perspectives, right? So if you have all these perspectives, it might lead to stagnation where you're not making any moves. So there could be missed opportunities in that regard. Another way this could be playing out too, if this is the energy of another person, where, like we said here, on from your perspective, you're like, oh, I want to win-win for all parties involved, right? But then it looks like there might have to be more communication and interaction with them to let them know that that's the case, right? Because it's like, all right, well, you could say you want the best for all parties involved, but why are you holding that sword, right? So it's like, okay, do you really have faith in the other party involved that you really can get things in a balanced way, or do you feel like you have to be guarded, right? And oh, I want things to work out well, but let me put this little safeguard in place just in case, something along those lines there that could be really impacting the other party in a negative way in the situation. Um, but yeah, and for some of you, this could even just be pointing to perhaps you've gone through your own disappointments in the past, and that could be why you're coming from things from that perspective, right? Like, okay, I'm going to make sure I have all the safeguards in place so that I don't repeat a cycle from the past. Now, I don't really see anything in this particular spread pointing to any disappointments you went through directly, so that's why I feel like this might be more related to another person involved in the situation. All right, in the hopes or fears position, we have the Nine of Cups. So yeah, I mean, pretty standard to see this come up in the hopes position, right? Just the desire to be fulfilled, to be content, right? To know what you bring to the table, be comfortable with that, and let more opportunities come to you. But again, like I said, just keep in mind if that is the perspective that you're coming from, right? Like I said, where you might be saying to yourself, oh yeah, I want to come at things from a balanced win-win situation. This person's not necessarily in a win-win situation type of energy. They're not necessarily selfish, but at the same time, they're not giving the same amount that they would receive. So just something to think about there. And then in the outcome position, we have the 10 of Pentacles. So definitely a really good outcome to see, because whatever the situation is, it seems to be working out for all parties involved. So definitely looks like there could be some hiccups in the way with that 3 of Swords energy we see in the environment. But like I said, it looks like things do get worked out. And this could just be primarily, maybe it's just two different perspectives, right? And trying to meet in the middle. So if this sword is your perspective, the other sword's the other person's perspective, it could be the growing pains to get yourselves in the middle, right? So it could just be as simple as that. It doesn't have to be a huge thing, but like I said, that's the one indicator that things won't be totally smooth, but there's a lot of pretty positive, supportive energies in the spread overall. So I think it'd be fairly minor for the majority of you. Bottom of the deck, we have the 2 of Swords. So yeah, like I said, it looks like I feel like you probably have weighed in with the emotions a little bit and trying to keep things grounded, but now maybe after processing that, you could still be looking at things from a more practical standpoint, just more intellectual, as far as we see our back is turned to the water and the moon, which are 2 symbols of emotions. We see our heart is also covered. So yeah, it could just be one of those things. Or for some of you, it could be the other way around. You might have started out at this point and now you're actually trying to incorporate more of the water, the earth energies. All right, moving on to your 4 agreements card, we have don't take anything personal. It says release self-judgment. Okay, there we go. It says even the opinions you have about yourself are not necessarily true. Therefore, you don't need to take whatever you hear in your own mind personally. So yeah, definitely a good message to keep in mind there too. I know especially Virgos can be very hard on themselves sometimes, so hopefully that resonated with you. All right, moving on to your Wisdom Oracle card, we have Loyal Heart. There's the artwork, and the number is 35. So let's see what this has to say. Okay, essential meaning says fidelity, loyalty, devotion. The Oracle's message: evidence of loyalty will appear in your life. Others will prove that they are faithful to you, and you will in turn commit fully to them. There is a sure and abiding certainty in your heart. Know that Spirit is always loyal to you. No matter the outer circumstances in your life, trust and have faith, for you are eternally loved, always divinely protected, and divinely directed. So yeah, definitely a pretty positive message there. And like I said, it looks like in the past there was some kind of a supportive energy, if not a flat-out one-to-one connection. We see that potential in the future as well. So I could see where that aligns with the main spread. The relationship message says your partnerships, friendships, and romantic relationships all have many qualities in common right now. Honest devotion, faithfulness, and a loyal heart being shown to you. Are you as loyal in return? Now is the time for heartfelt commitment and trusting in divine protection. So yeah, again, definitely a pretty positive message there as well. Like I said, this didn't 100% come across as a romantic connection necessarily, but worst case, the love readings will be out next week too. The prosperity message says your long-term loyalty to your goals is becoming evident in a world of conditions where your aspirations for success assume form in reality. Success is finally taking shape. If you are loyal to your dreams, faithful to your plans while remaining flexible and devoted to serving others, you will be shown proof of your true prosperity. This is a time for joyful celebration of Spirit, your manifesting partner. So yeah, definitely interesting there where it talked about remaining flexible, because that makes me think of the Temperance energy as far as that is a mutable energy, right? And here with the Queen of Swords, this is a cardinal energy, and I was talking about how, almost jokingly, but it's like, okay, oh yeah, what's best for all parties involved? Okay, well, why are you holding that sword then, right? So it could just be one of those things where you're maybe becoming a little bit less guarded, maybe a little bit more open to collaborating, right? Maybe you've been trying to do something alone all this time, and maybe this is pointing to you guys being more open to a collaborative effort, and that could be helpful too. So hopefully that resonated with you. All right, and lastly, we have a mudra for you guys. This is your mudra here. It's the Mahashirsha mudra, and the keyword for it is relief. Okay, and there's the info on it if you want to pause it or take a screenshot to read what it has to say. But under benefits, it says relieves headache, reduces tension in the eyes, breaks up congestion in the frontal sinuses, improves mental clarity. So if that sounds like a mudra you think would be beneficial for you guys, I'll put the name in the description video as always. Once again, happy early birthday to those of you celebrating August, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.